Hey everyone, before we dive in, I want you to take a moment and think about the last time your words got you into trouble. Maybe you said something you later regretted, or perhaps you found yourself rambling in an important meeting when a few well-chosen words would have been more powerful. Trust me, what I'm about to share with you isn't just another communication video, it's a 2,000-year-old wisdom that's more relevant today than ever before. In a world where everyone's fighting to be heard, where social media rewards those who shout the loudest, I'm going to show you why saying less can actually make you more influential. And no, this isn't about being silent. It's about making your words count. The ancient Stoics knew something that many of us have forgotten. The art of impactful speech isn't about quantity, but quality. As Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Nature has given us one tongue but two ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak." This isn't just some ancient wisdom. It's a practical tool that can transform how you communicate in your personal life, your career, and every interaction in between. Now let's talk about why the Stoics were masters of powerful communication, and how their principles can help you speak with more impact in today's world. The beauty of what I'm about to share is that it doesn't require any special skills or talents, just a shift in how you think about your words. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote in his Meditations, "No unnecessary actions, no unnecessary words." Think about that for a moment. In an age where we're bombarded with endless chatter and noise, imagine the power of speaking only what truly matters. But here's what makes the Stoic approach to communication so powerful. It's not just about speaking less, it's about speaking better. The Stoics understood that every word carries weight, and when we choose our words carefully, we can move mountains with just a whisper. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, put it perfectly when he said, "Speech should be like the currency. The value is not in the size, but in the substance." This is exactly what we're going to explore today, how to make your words more valuable by making them fewer. Let's start with the first principle of Stoic communication, intentionality. The Stoics believed that before speaking, we should ask ourselves three crucial questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Think about how different your conversations would be if you filtered everything through these three questions. Most of us speak reactively. We say whatever comes to mind, driven by emotions, ego, or the simple urge to fill silence. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that reactive speech often leads to regret, while intentional speech leads to impact. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once observed that we have two ears and one mouth, so we should listen more than we say. This wasn't just about being a good listener. It was about understanding that every word we speak should serve a purpose. Here's a powerful example. Imagine you're in a heated argument. Your emotions are running high and you have 1,000 words ready to burst out. The non-Stoic response would be to let them all fly, to try to overwhelm your opponent with the sheer volume of your arguments. But the Stoic approach? Take a breath. Step back. Choose only the words that truly matter. This brings us to another crucial aspect of Stoic communication: emotional regulation. The Stoics believed that our words often betray our lack of emotional control. When we speak from a place of anger, fear, or excitement, we tend to say more than necessary, and often things we later regret. Epictetus advised, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This might seem counterintuitive in today's world, where we're often encouraged to demonstrate our knowledge and expertise at every opportunity. But there's profound wisdom here. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is remain silent and listen, even when you have something to say. Think about the most impressive people you know. Chances are, they're not the ones who talk the most, but the ones who speak with purpose and precision. They understand what the Stoics knew centuries ago, that the impact of our words isn't measured by their quantity, but by their quality. Let me share a personal example. In my early career, I thought being heard meant speaking more, longer, and louder than others. I would prepare extensive presentations, trying to cover every possible point. But I noticed something interesting. The more I spoke, the less people seemed to really hear. It wasn't until I discovered Stoic principles that I understood why. The Stoics taught that power doesn't come from dominating conversations, but from choosing our moments to speak wisely. As Marcus Aurelius advised, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. This brings us to the practical part. How do we actually implement these Stoic principles in our daily communication? Let me share with you 3 powerful techniques that the Stoics used, and that you can start applying today. First, the power of the pause. The Stoics were masters of the strategic pause. Before responding to any situation, they would take a moment to consider their words. This isn't about being slow or unresponsive, it's about being deliberate. As Epictetus taught, make it your practice not to be distracted by people's beliefs and assumptions about you. When someone says something that triggers an immediate reaction in you, pause. Ask yourself, is my response coming from wisdom or from impulse? I remember being in a board meeting where tensions were running high. Everyone was talking over each other, trying to prove their point. Instead of joining the chaos, I remembered this Stoic principle and waited. When I finally spoke, my few carefully chosen words had more impact than all the previous heated exchanges combined. Second, the art of the question. The Stoics were incredible questioners. They understood that asking the right question is often more powerful than making a statement. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When we're about to launch into a long explanation or argument, we can pause and ask ourselves, what's the essential question at the heart of this matter? This technique is particularly powerful in conflicts or negotiations. Instead of making assumptions and building elaborate arguments, ask simple, direct questions. You'll often find that the answer you receive shifts the entire conversation in a more productive direction. Third, the practice of silence. This might be the most powerful technique of all. The Stoics understood that silence isn't just the absence of speech, it's a form of communication in itself. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." In our modern world, we're often uncomfortable with silence. We rush to fill it with words, any words, just to avoid the perceived awkwardness. But what if we embraced those moments of silence? What if we used them to truly consider our next words, or better yet, to let others fill the space with their thoughts? I've seen this work wonders in both personal and professional settings. In negotiations, the person who's comfortable with silence often has the upper hand. In personal relationships, allowing space for silence can create deeper connections than endless conversation. But here's the crucial part. Implementing these techniques requires practice and patience. The Stoics didn't expect perfection, they aimed for progress. As Epictetus said, if you want something good, get it from yourself. Start small. In your next conversation, try using just half the words you normally would. Notice how this makes you choose your words more carefully. Pay attention to the impact this has on your listener. Are they more engaged? Do they lean in to hear what you have to say? Remember, the goal isn't to become silent, it's to become more impactful. It's about finding that sweet spot where your words carry maximum weight with minimum waste. As Seneca advised, the greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. In communication terms, this means finding contentment in saying less while meaning more. Think about the last time someone truly influenced you. Was it someone who talked endlessly, or someone who spoke briefly but meaningfully? The Stoics understood this psychology long before modern communication theories confirmed it. Humans tend to give more weight to words that are carefully chosen and sparingly used. Here's something powerful that the Stoics understood about human nature. We often speak to satisfy our own needs rather than to truly communicate. We speak to feel important, to prove we're right, to show off our knowledge, or simply to fill the silence. But what if we could transcend these impulses? Musonius Rufus, another great Stoic teacher, said, "Better to remain silent than to speak the truth ill-humoredly and spoil it by doing so." This touches on something crucial. It's not just about what we say, but how we say it. The Stoics believed that our manner of speaking should reflect our character and wisdom. Let me share a powerful exercise that combines all we've discussed so far. I call it the 3-breath rule, inspired by Stoic practices. Before speaking in any important situation, take 3 deep breaths. With each breath, ask yourself, breath 1, is what I'm about to say true and verified? Breath 2, is it necessary in this moment? Breath 3, will it improve upon the silence? This simple practice has transformed countless conversations for me and my clients. It's remarkable how many words we can eliminate just by running our thoughts through this filter. But here's where many people get stuck. They confuse speaking less with having less influence. Nothing could be further from the truth. Consider this quote from Marcus Aurelius. "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Similarly, waste no more time thinking about what good communication should be. Practice it. In my years of coaching and speaking, I've noticed a direct correlation between someone's impact and their ability to be concise. The most respected leaders I've worked with all share this quality. They don't need many words to make their point because they've mastered the art of meaningful speech. Let's address some common challenges you might face when trying to implement these principles. First, there's the fear of being seen as aloof or disengaged if you speak less. The Stoics would argue that true engagement isn't measured by the quantity of our words, but by the quality of our presence. When you do speak, make it count. Then there's the challenge of workplace expectations, especially in environments that seem to reward those who speak the most. Remember what Epictetus taught. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Sometimes going against the grain of excessive communication might feel uncomfortable, but the results will speak for themselves. Here's a practical tip for workplace situations. Instead of trying to contribute to every discussion, choose 1 or 2 key moments to share your thoughts. Make these contributions well thought out and concise. You'll likely find that people start paying more attention to what you say because they know you only speak when you have something valuable to add. As we wrap up this discussion, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next week, try to reduce your word count in every conversation by half. Don't worry about being perfect. Just be conscious of it. Notice how it affects your choice of words, your thinking process, and most importantly, how others respond to you. Remember what Seneca said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." The same applies to our words. It's not about how many we speak, but how much meaning and impact they carry. Before I end this video, let me share one final thought from Marcus Aurelius that encapsulates everything we've discussed. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Simple words, but profound in their implication. Your journey to more impactful communication starts now. Remember, the goal isn't to become silent, it's to make your words matter, to speak with purpose, precision, and power, to let your silence build anticipation for your words, and to let your words justify that anticipation. Thank you for staying with me through this exploration of Stoic communication principles. If you found value in these ideas, remember that implementation is everything. Start small, be patient with yourself, and watch as the power of your words grows even as their number diminishes. And as the Stoics would say, the best time to start practicing is now. Go forth, speak less, mean more, and watch how your impact grows. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep practicing, and keep growing in your journey toward more meaningful communication.